It's a 1-2 count to Armstrong. And he'll watch the backdoor slider get in there for a strike. Ashton Wolf gets him looking. The second time tonight Armstrong has gone down by way of the backward strikeout.
Beautiful pitch that time by Ashton Wolf. And just when he needed after allowing Carter Boyd on to start the inning. 2 quick retirements here. We'll have him feeling pretty good as he faces a guy named Dane Frelick. Has been swinging a good bat over the last few weeks.
So the runner on second base, that being Carter Boyd. It's an 0-1 count, 2 outs here in the inning. Dogs still with the 6-2 lead. A swing and a miss from Frelick, forward on the off speed. So Wolf is a strike away from a spotless top of the 5th. He'll look in and fire home the 0-2. Frelick fouls it off and over towards that pretty pink sky that we see over there in right field.
Turned into a great night here. Not too overcast either. We were kind of worried about that earlier. There were obviously lots of floods, but it's turned into a nice night.
0-2. Down the third base line, foul over to the third base coach, Noah Jarrett. The count stays at 0-2. Boyd still at second base. Frelick 0 for 2 on the night. Been an RBI opportunity here. 0-2. Good take from Frelick. Wolf comes set. 1-2. Swing and a miss as Wolf makes Frelick look silly. Got him with the slider, back-to-back strikeouts, out number 3. Corndogs lead 6-2, and now it's their time to hit here in K-Town. Welcome back into Atrium Health Ballpark as the Queen City Corndogs hold a 6-2 advantage on the Lake Norman Copperheads. As Two very different programs here in the SCBL. The Copperheads, one of the founding members kind of the SCBL, been in here for about 20 plus years now, and the Corndogs in their second season, but have definitely made an impact on the Charlotte baseball scene, both at the collegiate level and the lower levels, the U18, U17, U14 teams they have going all over the Southeast and playing some ball. And probably a lot of future Corndogs they have down there and be coming up to play for their SCBL team and sometime in the near future. Joe Javier back out for Lake Norman. He's been great on the bump so far after coming in for Carter Boyd, who struggled in the first, but has put down 10 straight as we see Trig Browning up. 1-2 to Browning in the dirt, and Spillman blocks it up. Javier comes set. 2-2 on the way. Inside to Browning, runs the count full. Full count pitch from Javier. And that one's high and inside. Javier allows his first base runner and 10 batters by way of a walk to Trig Browning. That's the second time tonight Browning has walked.
An important first step for the Corndogs in this inning. If they're looking to maybe extend their lead a little bit. They really haven't been able to figure out Joe Javier, but at least you've got at least one base runner on, and really the first pressure he's faced in almost 3 innings now.
As Dylan Schaefer, who scored the first run of the game, will lay down a bunt. The play from Frelick won't be in time. That's going to get past Ayler. As we're going to see Browning round 3, he's going to be coming home, and the Corndogs get the 7th run of the game by way of a fielding error from Dane Frelick. As Browning stole second, took third, and he said, you know what, I'm going to take home while I'm at it. Rounds a whole lot of bases and gets 1 run for Queen City.
Such a chaotic play there. In all honesty, I feel like he would have been safe either way with Schaefer. Put down a perfect bunt over to the left side, but charging it was Frelick. He just couldn't get an accurate throw, and Ayler, the last place you want a ball to go into is behind that first base line into the corner right there. Allowed Browning to get a great jump after he was already stealing second, just kind of turned it into a hit and run, and then once the ball got past first base, there was no doubt in his mind he was going home.
Kind of reminded me of shades of Ellie De La Cruz, some of the base running antics we've seen him do in the last couple of seasons, as Browning showed off the speed. And we'll see the first baseman, Luke Harris, step in now for the Corndogs. 0 for 2 on the evening. And it's a 1-1 count to Harris.
And hit a hard ball the first time up that wasn't rewarded. Got caught by Ayler over there at first base. We'll see if he can put a similar swing on the ball in this at-bat.
1-1 from Javier, misses low. As a beautiful sky here in Kannapolis tonight after all those storms we had earlier. Spillman goes up to meet with Javier on the mound. And Gunnar, me and you were talking about this just a couple minutes ago, but have to give a bunch of props to the Queen City Corndogs. They went all out for this event. They've nailed it. All the stuff in between the innings that you guys haven't been able to see. We've seen a corn dog eating contest. We've seen a bottle of mustard, a bottle of ketchup, and a corn dog grace each other around the bases. And I'm bound to see a lot of more things in the later stages of this game.
Yeah, they've done a great job at just the entertainment aspect of it, and of course getting to play a game in a professional setting is a great plus for the league as well. When you're trying to kind of grow your brand around the area, these are kind of the stars of local colleges around North Carolina and just in the general area in the country as well.
As with this being my 4th or 5th summer now with the Southern Collegiate Baseball League, as we see Luke Harris walk, I think this is the biggest summer that we've seen a progression with the league. It first started with the 2 additions of the URA Wampus Cats and the Carolina Disco Turkeys, arguably the two of the best fan bases in the league. You have teams now being able to play at Wake Forest's stadium. You had the SCBL team who won a game up at the NACSB Showcase against the Atlantic League and played a Florida League team who was really good, really close into the end, and then now have 2 games here at Atrium Health Ballpark. And the single elimination tournament next week that will end off everything will be a spectacle, to say the least.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see whether any of those teams at the bottom, since it's single elimination, can really pull off a shocker. It's all about getting hot at the right time.
As you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, how the Corndogs kind of fighting for that 3rd position in the standings. As it looks like that one got Spillman in an uncomfortable spot. But the Corndogs, if they can secure the 3rd place, even the 4th place in the standings, hosting a first-round playoff game, then kind of going from there is really crucial. As it's so tight, really, in that span from the 3 to 7 range, as the Statesville Owls and the Morrisville Spinners kind of have those first 2 positions locked up. When you look at that 3, 4, 5, 6 area, I mean, you have the Queen City Corndogs leading it now, the Carolina Disco Turkeys hunting in there. Lincoln and Copperheads got cold late in the month of June, but since July has started heated up some. The Regulators Baseball Club started off uber hot, but it's cooled off as of late. And the Wampus Cats have been a really up and down team. But one thing that I know you, Gunnar, that you've learned in your first year with the league is if anything's going to happen, it'll happen in the SCBL.
Yeah, certainly so. And you kind of grown to expect the unexpected. I mean, just look at the game we covered the other night, the Owls and the Copperheads over at Cox Mill High School down in Concord. I mean, at one point, it looked like they were going to be run-ruled for the Copperheads, and then they battled all the way back, had a chance to tie it. They had the tying runner at the plate before the Owls eventually won that one in a crazy game the other night. So you never know what could happen in this league, and especially just look to this game. Maybe the Copperheads put together a rally. They are down 5 and looking to get back in this one, but you got a dangerous guy at the plate in Harrison Buthelette, who, if anyone's going to hit a home run tonight, you wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if it was going to be him. He is, after all, the leader in home runs this year in the SCBL, already at 8, despite missing some time.
He's got 2 runners on to do so. It's a 2-1 from Javier, misses low. And if Buthelette really pulls the ball down that right field line, it's pretty shallow considering it being a minor league park, as when you kind of get in that left center field gap, it starts to get a little bit deeper, but a directly pulled ball from Buthelette wouldn't take all too much of his power. Javier in danger of walking him. 3-1 will be a strike, run the count full. We have a 3-2 count. Harrison Buthelette trying to do more damage here against Joe Javier on the bump. And he swings. That's a high drive down the right field line into foul territory and onto the concourse. And again, we kind of see it there. Buthelette kind of evens out that swing right there. We see the power.
Yeah, it really is. At least early in the season when we saw him hitting some of those home runs, he was really hunting that kind of like elevated fastball that he was looking to drive, and shown throughout the season he can really swing the bat.
Well, we saw the elevated fastball right there, but it was too elevated, and Javier will walk Buthelette. The second time tonight he's reached safely, and now bringing the EH Chase Gibble. So the first time tonight, besides Javier coming in, these runs actually accounting for Joe Javier. He's had to work around some difficulties. And we'll see Noah Jarrett come in and have a chat with Javier. We do see some activity in that Lake Norman bullpen, as I believe this will be Joe Javier's night right here. We do see all the players in red for Lake Norman filing out of the dugout, and yes, that will be the end of the night for Joe Javier. He did just what he needed to do, came into tough situations, was a big innings eater, but will leave 2 accounted for the new pitcher into the game. We'll be back in just a moment here in K-Town. It's a 7-2 Corndogs lead. Jordan Bird is your new pitcher into the game for Lake Norman. As he takes a big deep breath, and he'll have some difficulties here. Bases loaded. As the Corndogs look to strike for more runs, they hold a 7-2 advantage.
Yeah, he's got quite the presence on the mound. 6'10", 215.
As we do see all the infield is in. Watching the bunt possibility from Chase Gibble, the EH. The 0-1 from Bird. And that will run in and get Gibble. As that is how the Corndogs will score their 8th run of the evening. And they continue the good times here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, for Jordan Bird, for a guy his size, he's obviously going to probably have a little bit of control issues. You know, it's a long delivery down. Not the fastest delivery either, as we've seen. We've seen bigger guys succeed, obviously, at the MLB level before as well, you know, with guys like Randy Johnson, who are 6'10" and that size, but it's very hard to be that big and have as fast of a delivery as a guy like Randy Johnson did. Not to, you know, compare him to too similarly to a Hall of Fame great, I guess.
Yeah.
But he has a really slow delivery and very elongated, so definitely always going to be tricky. And also, guys, seeing him for the first time will be a little bit difficult. He's already in a tough spot, had the bases loaded coming in, no outs, even with the hit by pitch.
As Caleb Beals is up for Queen City, and you know, you normally would think such a big guy on the mound, he'd be able to, you know, throw the velocity there, but we see kind of those bigger guys kind of slow it down more, but they're able to make up with that long stride. They're really cutting off the batter and eliminating 2 or 3 feet that these batters have to react. That one down the third base line. That one just foul from Beals.
Thought for a second maybe that one could have been a potential bases clearing double if it gets all the way down into that corner. A long throw, too, back to the infield. If that's the case, you've got Kwan kind of shaded over.
So Luke Harris standing on third base. Harrison Booth allowed at second base and Chase Gibble at first. No outs still here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's an 8-2 Corndogs lead here in K-Town. Bird gets the sign from Spillman. Comes set. 1-2 on the way. That one will just be foul. So Beals will have to head back to the righty's batter's box and gets another life.
Not the worst outcome either if you're the Copperheads. You know, a ball in play is likely going to be tough. Maybe you turn a double play here, but either way, it probably means another run scores.
So Beals digs back in after the foul ball. The Copperheads infield still in on the grass. And we'll try the 1-2 once more. That one to the second baseman. Great, they'll get past him. 1 run will score, and that'll be all. So an RBI single from Caleb Beals, as that will score Luke Harris. It's a 9-2 Dogs lead.
Everybody doing their part tonight for the Corndogs. Another great piece of hitting. And funny over there, it looked like first base would have been Chase Gribble. Had to jump over Will Gray, who tried a diving effort to get that ball, but just under the glove. Was going to be a tough play regardless, but a good job at the very least at keeping the ball in front of him out there in right field for Caden Haywood, preventing more than 1 run from scoring. Everybody just kind of moves up 90 feet, and you kind of just reset a little bit.
As Will Durrell, who already has a single by way of walking in a run today, up to the dish. Popped out a second time up. Bird comes set. 2-0 pitch. Swung on into right field, popped up for Caden Haywood, as we will see Buthelette not be tagging up. The throw from Haywood is a good one, and that's one thing we've seen this year from Haywood in right field is do not run on him. He's got a cannon.
Yeah, shows it off there. A strike back to the mound for Ayler. Buthelette, not the fastest guy in the world over there at third base, but obviously you don't really need to do that too much when you hit as many home runs as he does and get it on base as much as he does, because got on base with that walk earlier, obviously, and now a chance to do even some more damage, potentially.
As the ground ball from Owen Williams will be to Will Gray. He corrals it and gets it for out number 2. Buthelette scores and make that a 9-2 Queen City lead. Give me a 10-2 lead. As you could say the Corndogs have let the dogs out this inning. I mean, all runs coming in really in the first inning, and now here in the bottom of the 5th, scoring them in bunches.
And really haven't had any difference in whether it's starting pitcher or not.
So a runner on third and second. 2 outs now in the inning. Fastball misses high.
Well, Bugnick just played a few games down at the at Queens University where he's playing his college baseball. Obviously, the Corndogs played a doubleheader down there against the Athletics the other night. Just his 9th game he's appeared in, and his first since July 2nd.
Two-0 pitch. Back into the screen. So he will replace the third baseman, Owen Williams. And now we have a 2-1 count. Off speed misses high. As the darkness now coming upon us here in Kannapolis. (3-1). As that one is in the left center field. That is a well-driven ball. Aiden Kwan going over to it. And he will make the catch for out number 3. A good read from Kwan in left. And the Copperheads get out of a jam, but not before the Dogs put up 4. It's a 10-2 lead for Queen City. We're back here for the top half of the 6th inning. Will Gray will get things started off for Lake Norman here in the top half of the 6th inning. 4-5-6 due up for the Copperheads. As Ashton Wolf back on the bump. First pitch from Wolf will be a fastball, and it will miss the zone. 1-0 to Gray. Swing and a miss on the high fastball. Evens up the count at 1-1. As if you're watching us now on our YouTube, make sure to subscribe and turn on those post notifications to be alerted anytime we go live this season, as that is a good drive from Gray into center field, but unfortunate it's right at Durrell for out number 1.
Put a good charge into that ball, but goes unrewarded, unfortunately, for Will Gray, who's been putting some good swings on the wall tonight, but had a sac fly, obviously, earlier, which Durrell really had to run in on to catch it. But that is actually technically his first recorded at-bat tonight, since the sac fly will just give him the RBI and nothing else.
As we'll see, Brock Fowler come in to replace Kill Ayler, and he'll be playing first base as well. As we see kind of both squads trying to get their guys in and get them experience here at a minor league ballpark. Can't blame them if you're a player. I bet you're itching just to get out there and get on the diamond.
Yeah, we'll see if Brock Fowler can make an impact. Big guy. So certainly has the power. And you'd be interested to see if any guys can hit a home run out of this major league dimension kind of ballpark.
As that's one thing they can always keep with them. If they, don't make it to the minor leagues, they could say, hey, at least I hit one out at a minor league ballpark.
Yeah, Fowler, another guy that hasn't appeared in too many games. Plays down at Wingate and is from Charlotte, but's only made 2 appearances in July.
1-2. And Fowler takes the backdoor slider. It just doesn't get in the zone.
Yeah, hasn't chased too much yet. Despite being hitless in 2 games, he has 3 walks, so certainly still getting on base in any way he can.
2-2. Swing and a miss from Fowler. Doors right there from Wolf. And blows the fastball by him. That's your first out of the top half of the 6th inning, and that'll bring in Parker Staborski.
Yeah, big first out, or big second out, pardon, for Ashton Wolf, who's really settled in now after allowing that single to Boyd, now set down 5. Could be 6 if this one stays in play.
As that's going to be a tough one for Harris at first, and doesn't have the wheels to track over to foul territory. As I bet it makes for some very interesting plays here at Atrium Health Ballpark with all the foul space you have, really until you get deep into the outfield, as that's when it really narrows up and not much space, but I bet you see some great acrobatic plays from both the corner infielders and corner outfielders. Wolf delivers. Swing and a miss from Staborski, as the count now is going to be 0-2. Wolf looking for back-to-back strikeouts here. 0-2 on the way. In the dirt did he go. Staborski just holds tight and will stay in this at-bat.
Yeah, the telling thing for me so far during this game is the fact that both teams have 5 hits, but it's a 10-2 game. Just shows the Corndogs have taken advantage of their opportunities and gotten more guys on base via unconventional ways. So we see that ball go upstairs, and quite a few walks for the Copperheads pitchers tonight. Has allowed the Corndogs to put up 10 runs so far. Have come up with some timely hits too.
2-2 from Wolf. Swing and a miss. Gets him with the off-speed. Back-to-back strikeouts as Wolf is dialed on the bump. It's still a 10-2 lead for the QC Corndogs back here at HRML Ballpark in just a moment on a Friday evening. Welcome back here from a very intense dance-off as Lazaro Santos from the Lake Norman Copperheads gets the victory in the dance-off here at HRML Ballpark. The shenanigans keep rolling, and Lazaro Santos, quite the character we've been able to see this summer.
Yeah, certainly. So, always the guy you need on the team, just energetic and getting the guys going every night in a long season.
As that is a long drive into center field where see Staborski tracking back, and will be caught. If that one's hit at Cox Mill, that ball's probably gone.
The factor in the straightaway center wall, and quite a high wall, too.
Yep.
All the way out there, probably plus 400 feet, maybe a little farther in some parts. Maybe a little bit undeserved for Christopher Hendrickson, who you'd really think would be able to muscle that out at, I think, Moore Park. That's probably gone, and at his home field, Charlotte Latin, it's probably gone alongside Cox Mills field. Almost every field, that's probably a hit, at least, or maybe a home run, but unfortunately, he struck that in a major league ballpark. And there's a reason it's so hard to do that for a lot of guys at the major league level.
1-0. Misses from Bird. And it kind of gives you a new perspective thinking of how, especially outfielders in the majors and the minors, how much ground they have to cover in that outfield. And at this ballpark, a tough outfield to manage with the dimensions and kind of the weird foul territory deep into foul territory, and then it opens up coming in. As we see Bird down to the count 3-0. Gets a much-needed fastball for a strike to Trig Browning, the left fielder. 0 for 1 of the day with 2 walks, so his OBP is going up, and for Browning, that's all he cares about. A very good contact hitter and gets on base any means possible.
Yeah, got aggressive there, though, in that 3-1. Missed it, but still has another chance to get on base if he can just find a way to get past the big righty Jordan Bird, who's still out there.
3-2 from Bird. Gets some looking. The outside fastball sits down Browning for the first out of the inning. As Dylan Schaefer now, excuse me, that's the second out of the inning. Schaefer, 1 for 3 on the night.
Actually, looks like it's Gabe Simmons here as the pinch hitter, as some of the Corndogs guys are getting out here. And this one's popped up a mile high.
The catch from Armstrong, made safely, a can of corn for out number 3. A quick inning of work from Bird on the bump. And keeps this game at an 8-run lead for Queen City. 10-2 lead here in K-Town. The right fielder, Caden Haywood, starts things off for Lake Norman. 7-8-9 due up for the Copperheads. As Wolf back out yet again for Queen City. Both these squads have a game to play tomorrow, so something to think about. Maybe trying to save some pitching depth as Corndogs holding that 8-run advantage. Haywood's last time up hit an RBI double into the left center field gap and will yank a fastball down the right field line foul.
And it's taken some time for some of these guys in terms of pitching for the Queen City Corndogs to kind of get it dialed in. But since then, after the first batter, Ashton Wolfface, he's been lights out. Carter Boyd had a single his second time, and since then, 6 straight outs. We'll be looking to continue that. And we saw that similarly, too, with some of their other guys that came into the game, and most notably their starter, as this one looks like it's driven out of play once again. But Shane Coop had a tough first inning, had the sac fly, obviously, but then after that, didn't allow too much more. And even as other guys have come into the game, like Ashton Wolf, not too much going for this Copperheads lineup. Really, despite that, even though we saw Haywood had that RBI double, that's really been the one extra base hit that the team has really had since then, and scored Will Gray, who reached off a walk. So the Corndogs have done a great job all night at staying balanced.
1-2 to Haywood, misses high. Count now even at 2-2. As it's such a long summer, and it looks like a win more than likely tonight for Queen City can really pick up a lot of momentum going into that end-of-season tournament. Haywood pops that one up into the infield. Luke Harris looking for it in the lights, and he will make the catch for out number 1. It's kind of another perk of playing in a minor league ballpark. We see some, really high-hit balls at some of these high school fields get lost over the lights, but we got some tall lights here in Kannapolis. No need to worry about those major league flies.
We've seen quite a few balls get really high tonight. Looks like another pinch hitter here will be Josh Jones. stepping in for what looks like Aiden Kwan's spot now.
As we see the Copperheads kind of continuing that rotating door of new guys. Getting him some ABs.
Yeah, and Josh Jones hasn't appeared in a game in 9 days now. Last appearance was against the Corndogs, as a matter of fact, and had the walk-off hit in that one. Last time these two teams faced off at Cox Mill. Tightly contested game in that one. Isaac Armstrong had the ground rule double that put 2 runners into scoring position, and Josh Jones was the hero in that particular night. Also pitched against the Corndogs, too, back on June 11th. Did take the loss in that one, though, so it's been a very competitive series all year long between these two teams. Taking it to brand new heights, though, in this ballpark.
As a lot of work to do for the Copperheads to have another walk-off hit from Josh Jones tonight. As the 0-2 misses away. It's going to be a 1-2 count. 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. And Jones fouls off the fastball.
Yeah, despite the troubles for the Copperheads, they've been putting the ball in play quite a lot. But more often than not, the pitchers for the Corndogs have had the stuff to strike them out. And that's been the thing, is they haven't been able to put the ball in play quite enough to challenge the Corndogs.
1-2 from Jones. Gets some fishing in the dirt. Well, there's no fish down there. That's a strikeout for the second out of the inning. And that brings in the catcher, Cody Spillman, 0 for 2 on the evening. First pitch to Spillman from Wolf is outside for a ball. As just a reminder, if you can make it out tomorrow night, make sure to be here at Atrium Health Ballpark as we'll see the Queen City Corndogs host the Mooresville Spinners at 7 o'clock first pitch, and the fun and shenanigans is bound to be more tomorrow night as well. The Corndogs probably one of the better additions to the league that I've seen in my time. Second year in the league now and have just fit right into place. 2-0. Spillman ducks out of the way, moves it to 3-0. And the Copperheads, the Corndogs, one of those teams that also making a name at the youth level. Same with the Regulators and the Copperheads, the Concord A's as well in the SCBL with those youth teams. And we see kind of from both sides today, Gunner. We've seen the ball and bat boys, get out there, retrieve the bats, and give some balls to the umpire. Fun for those guys to get involved on the action and get on a minor league field. As the 3-1 is inside to Spillman, he'll take his base, and the Copperheads stay alive with 2 outs.
Yeah, for Carter Boyd, since he kind of exited the game, it's been overall pretty smooth until that rough patch in what was the bottom of the 5th inning for the Corndogs. But had a nice night at the plate so far and got a single his last time up.
As Boyd drives that one into right field sky high, Henderson under it and makes the catch for out number 3, throws it into the crowd. A little showmanship from the right fielder. As we'll see the 7th inning stretch on the way. Corndogs still lead 10-2 here at Atrium Health Ballpark. Back here after the 7th inning stretch. It's still a 10-2 Dogs lead. As Luke Harris, the first baseman, up for Queen City. Bird back on the mound for Lake Norman. And after some early control issues, kind of what we've seen from a lot of pitchers tonight, you know, being rocky in the start, but has settled in as of late.
It was really an adjustment period, I think, for a lot of pitchers in the league coming out of the bullpen. Really the difference has been who can get it dialed in the fastest, and I think you've seen with a lot of these starting pitchers in the league. They really are the difference makers on the mound for a lot of these teams, especially some of the guys that the Corndogs sent, like Shea Walker and Colin McDougall, are their two big starting pitchers. They both went up to Liberty University and pitched some in that NACSB Prospect Game Showcase. Big part of the reason why the Corndogs have been so competitive this year.
Bird comes set, 1-2 on the way, and that will clip Luke Harris on the backside. And we see the Bat Dog out there now for the first time tonight, getting the fans going. Gotta love to see that. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a Bat Dog in the SCBL. I can check that one off.
Just adds to the experience if you're here to watch a game.
I mean, you got the Corn Dogs, you got Cornhole, and you got a dog too. So you got all the types of plays on the name right there. Harris stands on first. Harrison Boothela up to the plate. That's a drive down the left field line. Josh Jones over there towards the track. Harrison Boothela touch all four of them. The lights going off. The home run leader in the SCBL hits another one. Oppo Taco. As the Corn Dogs extend their lead to 12-2. Harrison Boothela, have yourself a night. His 4th RBI on the evening. What a player he is.
This guy just keeps hitting. That time it drives it the other way out of the ballpark, down the left field line, and as we were just saying, really can hit to all fields, and he shows it there. Came into tonight's game, 8 home runs, make it 9, and now 24 RBIs on the year. What a season he's had.
As that's another solid drive right there to Saborski in center. Will that ball get down? Saborski drops it. Chase Gribble reaches safely. The Bat Dog's still out there, and the Corn Dogs are hot like a corn dog out of the fryer right now. Still no outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And we'll see Caleb Beals up, the second baseman.
You'd have to think, watching Harrison Boothela play in this league, there's got to be a lot of teams interested in him, maybe at the Division I level even in this area. Obviously playing over at San Jacinto College in Texas, but
actually, funny enough that you say that. I saw that he committed to a D2 school in South Carolina. I can't remember if it was maybe UFC Sumter or Southern Westland, but I did see he just committed to a D2 school around the area. And obviously, you got to imagine his efforts in the SCBL this summer are a big part why. As that one's to the shortstop, Isaac Armstrong, and Gray will turn a double play for the second out of the inning. 6-4-3 from the Copperheads.
yeah, nice play there defensively by Isaac Armstrong. Been pretty sure-handed with the glove all season, and a nice turn there. Really what the Copperheads have been missing, there's not too many opportunities to get maybe a double play ball, but yeah, and as you mentioned, Harrison Boothlet announcing he's going to USC Lancaster in South Carolina. So a great opportunity to keep showcasing what he's got, and he's one of the best players in the SCBL 2 years running now. You'd have to wonder where he stacks up on the all-time leaderboards for home runs in a single season.
Jordan Bird still stays on the mound for the Copperheads. It's a 12-2 Queen City lead. And as of late, the Corndogs may have pulled away and not made it the almost competitive game, but it's sure been a fun one tonight. Lots of action on both sides, but especially for the home front.
Well, the Corndogs faithful will sure be excited about this performance, especially considering they got to see Harrison Boothlet hit a ball the opposite way out of a major league dimension ballpark. And really nothing Jordan Bird maybe could have done about that either. He looked like he perfectly placed that ball in the outside corner, and Boothlet just has the power to drive it out. Since coming back from injury, he's been on fire.
I mean, you don't really see that many guys able to have that much power opposite way with a wood bat, as that one's going to eat up Brock Fowler at first base. Durrell will reach safely by way of an error, and the Corndogs stay alive here in the bottom of the 7th. As I think the Bad Dog tonight maybe has got more applause than any play on the field, and I don't blame him.
Much to be applauded.
So Durrell reaches safely on the error from Fowler. And we have a new hitter into the game for the Corndogs. Still trying to look on who that could be maybe. As whoever it is, he gets a single into left field over towards Josh Jones. So the Corndogs keep rolling here at the bottom of the 7th inning, and now bring up Owen Williams. Or excuse me, Griffin Picart.
Yeah, what a performance tonight from the Corndogs. I'm sure they'll be excited that they get to go back and play here tomorrow night too, against a great Spinners team. Going to need a good offensive performance in that one against what has been such a strong Spinners pitching staff. You got guys like A.J. Camp of Wake Forest, Bailey Faircloth, Caleb Williams, who has the lowest ERA in the league right now at .23. What a season he's had.
Talking about shoving, huh?
Yeah, and it even got the start against the Florida League up in the NACSB prospect games. Has been great throughout the season.
The 0-2 from Bird is a foul tip from Picart.
Looks like Budnick down there, I think, is his second at-bat of the night. Luckily came in, I think, for looks like Will Durrell potentially, as you see. Or pardon, it would be Picart's, or Owen Williams, pardon, he came in for earlier in the game. His second at-bat of the night.
2-2 from Bird, misses outside, runs the count full. Needs a strike here to just get himself out of the inning. And keep rolling for Lake Norman. Bird comes set, 2 runners on. Pitch on the way, runners will be going. That one is a high fly into the infield. As we see Brock Fowler coming in on it, he's going to call for it and will make the catch for out number 3. So the Corndogs put up a 2 spot in the bottom of the 7th inning thanks to Harrison Boothlet, 2-run jack the opposite way. Queen City leads 12-2, top 8 on the way here from Atrium Health Ballpark. the top of the order due up for Lake Norman as Luis Morales will get us started here. Top 8 here in K-Town. It's a 12-2 lead for the Queen City Corndogs as they've put up runs in bunches. 6 runs in the first inning, as that's a single right there from Luis Morales. 6 runs in the bottom of the first inning. They put up 4 more in the 5th, and then just put up 2 in the bottom of the 7th, thanks to a 2-run jack by Harrison Bouthelette. And now Morales gets his second single of the evening. And in stands the shortstop, Isaac Armstrong. As Wolf on the bump for Queen City has been lights out. As that one was an arid throw, Morales will advance up to second base. Maybe a little commentator's curse right there. And a runner in scoring position early here for Lake Norman.
Yeah, almost an incredible defensive play last time out by Gabe Simmons, who eventually kind of fell on the ball a little bit, but kept it in the infield. Morales just too speedy to get him out. An important at bat for Armstrong, I think. Got a single his last time, but struck out his last 2. We'll see what kind of approach he takes in this particular at-bat, especially with the chance to drive a runner in. If you get to the outfield, Luis Morales runs well. So we'll see if the Copperheads can get a 3rd run on the board.
Morales will be going right here. Might have to go back as Armstrong swung on that hit and run. The catch will be made, but Morales back in time. As the pop out from Armstrong records out number 1, and that'll bring up Dane Frelick. As Morales is going to be amped to go. We already saw him score from third base on really shallow ball into center field and showed off the wheels. And was looking to run right there. As well as a substitution into the game, as Dane Frelick will be replaced by Jack Lopez. Lopez, another local kid from Coxville High School. So Lopez with a shot here to get his first ABs at Atrium Health Ballpark.
And a guy I think could use a good at-bat here. Going to be probably his only chance to get an at-bat this particular game at a big ballpark like this. And as you mentioned, a Caldwell Community College sophomore from the area. Looking for hit number 7 on the year, but did pick up hit number 6 against the A's last night. Looking to raise his batting average a little bit, and here's a great spot to do it. Low pressure situation, a chance to drive in a run if you get it right, but you're facing off against a guy in Ashton Wolf that really has the stuff to beat almost any hitter in the league, especially from the left side. Is tough.
Morales standing on second. He will be going. Lopez holds up. The throw down from third is not in time, and Luis Morales takes another bag, showing off the wheels.
He is not scared of anything, is Luis Morales, when going for those bases.
I mean, really nothing to lose at this point, and might as well just paddle those stolen base stats. It's a 2-1 count to Jack Lopez. Wolf fires home. Lopez swings to third base. Morales is going to be going home. Lopez will be safe. As Luke Harris wasn't able to get the stretch, Morales advances home. The 3rd run of the evening for Lake Norman comes by way of Jack Lopez.
Yeah, not the first time we've seen a tough play there from Owen Williams that time. Looked like at third base and corralled it, but couldn't put the strike over in time.
And now batting is number 9, Will Gray. As actually, that looks like a substitution for Gray. That's going to be number 8, Jacob Painter, I believe. So Painter will be slotted in at second base. Painter really has been used more as a pitcher than a hitter so far this season, but getting a chance in the righty's batter's box here.
Yeah, and got the save against the Wampus Cats the other night this week, July 8th. Picked up the final out of that one, but has struggled from the plate a little bit. 4 hits in 9 games, hasn't appeared in too many games as a hitter. 9 as a hitter and 6 as a pitcher, as you mentioned, and has thrown 13 1/3 innings on the year. No appearances, though, against the Corndogs as a pitcher, just some as a hitter. And went 1 for 3 in his last appearance in an 8-2 loss down at Charlotte Latin in his last time against these guys. 1 hit and 6 at-bats. We'll be looking to maybe pad that a little bit and look to keep this inning alive.
And Painter will be going down swinging for out number 2. Yet another strikeout from Wolf for out number 2, and that'll bring up big number 33, Brock Fowler. Fowler came in to replace Kel Ayler at first base. Lopez still standing on first, being held on by Harris. Fowler first pitch swinging on the fastball, but was behind it.
We've seen that a lot tonight from these Copperheads hitters. They really have not pulled the ball too much. It's been mostly hit to the opposite field, but that may just be kind of the nature of the left-handed pitcher to right-handed hitters. The ball kind of runs in on you a little bit, and it's tough to really pull the ball unless you're way out in front of it.
1-1 count here. Wolf fires in. Lopez will be going. Swing and a miss from Fowler. And Pickard lost it on the transfer.
I think you trade that for strike 2, though. Now you're just 1 away from preserving a 9-run lead going into the top of the 9th.
Wolf comes set. 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Drop third strike. Fowler trying to leg it out at first base, and he'll do just that. As that slider is way too in the dirt, Pickard couldn't stay in front of it, and the Copperheads will have runners on the corners here with 2 outs. Now bring in Parker Staborski, who's 1 for 3 on the evening. Started out with a single and back-to-back strikeouts. As we'll see a mound visit with Wolf on the bump. And really the hits this inning that we've seen has just been unfortunate for him, as had the drop third strike right there, had a little bloop that had Jack Lopez reach on kind of maybe an infield single error, 50-50, as Morales' hit was really the only true hit of the inning. But that will be the end of Wolf's night. So with a new guy on the bump for Queen City, they'll take a break, and we'll take a break with them. It's a 12-3 Queen City lead here at H.R. Mouth Ballpark. Thanks for joining us on a Friday evening. We'll be back in just a moment. Anthony Dorner is the new pitcher into the game for the Corndogs, as he'll be looking to complete this ball game. The Copperheads down to their final 4 outs. And Parker Staborski digs into the box with runners on the corners. We see Jack Lopez at third and Brock Fowler at first. Staborski first pitch swinging on the fastball, but is behind it. Dorner looks in. Fires home the 0-1. And Staborski stays put.
Staborski, another guy to try and rebound a little bit after the last 2 at-bats where he went down looking and down swinging. But another tough lefty to face against Dorner, who's had a pretty good season.
As that one's right up the middle from Staborski. And Schaefer can't make the play. The Copperheads get their second run of the evening. Jack Lopez scores safely and cuts the deficit a little bit more, make that an 8-run ball game now.
Nice inning here from the Copperheads, just putting the ball in play a lot more and jumping on Anthony Dorner, who did have a tough last outing against the Owls last night. He's right back in the game tonight, though. Pitched 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits and 2 runs in that one. But the Owls just playing that so well all night, regardless of that. So it's going to be tough to beat them no matter what. And how good they've been this year. 14 wins in a row after an 0-3 start. And 16-2 overall in those last 18. What a season it's been for them. And could dethrone the Spinners as they look for a 4-peat this year.
A 1-1 on the way to Haywood. He'll be swinging. That's going to be to the third baseman. Williams has to make a tough play, and he can't make it in time. Caden Haywood legs out the infield single. That'll load up the bases. And the Copperheads continuing to look to add more. As we'll see Josh Jones up for the Copperheads. Jones came in to replace Aiden Kwan in left field and struck out his first time up. Brock Fowler standing on third base. We have Parker Staborski at second and Caden Haywood at first. It's a 12-4 QC lead. And they jumped out early to a 6-1 advantage and really never looked back.
Yeah, they've had such a great night tonight.
Back up the middle from Jones. Donor makes the play, flips it over to Harris at first, and gets out of the top of the 8th inning. It'll be a 12-4 game, bottom 8 on the way. The Queen City Corndogs looking to add insurance before the Copperheads go down to their final 3 outs. Seth Hagler now on the bump for Lake Norman, as looks like he'll only get 1 inning of work. Playing Who Let the Dogs Out over the loudspeaker, and the Dogs have let out the bats tonight, putting up a 12 spot. And all 12 of those runs only coming in 3 of the 7 innings they've batted so far. And Hagler will be tasked to put down this red-hot Corndogs lineup for one final time tonight. So Hagler digs in. First pitch of his night will be a high fastball for a ball. Lake Norman will host the Regulators Baseball Club tomorrow night at Coxmo High School. That game will be live here on the SCBL YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe and turn on those post notifications to be alerted when we go live. And Gunnar Schroeder right next to me will be right here at Atrium Health Ballpark to broadcast the Queen City Corndogs versus the Mooresville Spinners game. That one bound to be a great one with 2 of the top dogs in the SCBL playing. As a pop fly over to the shortstop and caught by Isaac Armstrong for out number 1. Hagler 1 up, 1 down. So Hagler puts down his first, and only 2 more to go, and hand it back over to his offense. Hagler working out of the windup. A fastball back up the middle, broken back. Isaac Armstrong making the play and won't get it. Gets past Brock Fowler. The runner will advance it to the throw from Fowler to second base. Was a good one, and it got him. Brock Fowler guns him down. Armstrong made the errant throw to first base. Fowler corralled it and passed it over back to Armstrong at second base. Applied the tag, an unconventional way to get your second out. But hey, we don't judge.
Yeah, what a play there by Fowler to really, recuperate. It was going to be a tough play for Isaac Armstrong either way, but good job by the Lake Norman infield to just get back there and try and recuperate a little bit. Did a great job there. Now Gabe Simmons up for his second time tonight. Grounded out on the first pitch, or popped out rather on the first pitch, his last time up. So certainly we'll want to look for a better pitch potentially this time.
As Hagler's looked good early in his short relief outing. That one looked to go right off the shoe of Spillman behind the dish. Lake Norman Copperheads looking to make a late season charge in the SCBL standings. And if they get really hot, maybe they could host a playoff game, jump into that 4th seed. It's all to play for in the last week or so left. Lots of spots up for grabs, especially in that middle part of the standings. And jumping from double elimination last year to single elimination this year really just throws another wrinkle into it, as you got to be on your A game every single game or your season can be derailed in an instant.
That one runs way inside. Surprised he can hit, did Simmons. And there's been a lot of times tonight pitches have run in and hit batters, but it's mostly been Corndogs hitters that have really kind of taken advantage of that. It's kind of reflected in the line a little bit if you look out towards right field. I mean, the Corndogs have 9 hits, but 12 runs. In contrast, the Copperheads have 8 hits and 4 runs. So the walks and free passes have really played a big part tonight, as well as timely hitting for some of these teams.
2-2 from Hagler. Will be fouled off and almost hit one of the suites up here on the concourse press box area. And one thing I must say is this game might have, kind of become a blowout towards the later stage, but the vibes and the atmosphere have stayed high all game long, as that's a pop flying to center field, caught by Staborski for route number 3. And the Copperheads down to their final 3 outs of the evening. Let's see if they can do the impossible here in the top of the 9th. We'll be back in just a moment from Atrium Health Ballpark. And Cody Spillman will get us started here in the top of the 9th inning. 9-10-1 due up for Lake Norman. Spillman walked his last time up, but 0 for 2 in the evening. Fastball misses outside from Donor. 1-0. Swung on by Spillman. That's going to be to the second baseman, Beal. It's going to be a tough play to get Spillman, but he'll get him in time. A hop, skip, and a jump to Grandma's house we go. Gets him for out number 1. A tough play, but the bounce to Harris was in time.
That's really been the difference, I think, is every up-in-the-air play, it seems like the Corndogs have made the most of those opportunities to get those tough outs, whereas on the other side of the diamond, the Copperheads have kind of struggled with that at times. Corndogs have gotten on base in certain instances where the Copperheads weren't able to, and maybe that's just another example. That's a tough break there for Cody Spillman. He did put it in play, but enough velocity on it to where it just got enough towards the middle part of the infield, and that results in a much unwanted ground out there.
As Carter Boyd now for Lake Norman, as he's 1 for 3 on the evening with a single. And yeah, it's just those 50-50 plays have really gone the Corndogs' ways tonight, and that's been able, not only why they're leading this game, but have really extended it to put it out of reach for Lake Norman.
They've done such a good job in situational hitting, and then sometimes your best players just have to make the difference, and that both are true tonight. We saw Harrison Booth launch his 4th home run of the week. You got to think he's probably going to be the front runner for SCBL Player of the Week, maybe a runaway favorite at this point.
You know, as us being the 2 people who choose who the SCBL Player of the Week is, I'd say that we can all but confirm that he will be the Player of the Week unless someone just goes off tomorrow night.
Yeah, 14 RBIs. We didn't think he would get much better than Josh Osiander, having about 10 to 12 earlier this season, but that's got to be a new record. I mean, he doubled his RBI total in 1 game after all, so what a season he's had. But far from the last great play I doubt we'll see him make with the bat this season.
It looks like Lazaro Santos will be replacing Luis Morales in the EH spot. Lazaro Santos actually won a dance-off earlier in the game. We'll see if they can keep those moves going here in the batter's box. One out here in the inning. 1-0. Swung on by Santos. He was late on the fastball.
Yeah, Santos, another guy that could maybe use a hit to get his second half going for the appearances he makes.
He's kind of been used as that second catcher ever since Brock Donnelly went down with an early season injury. It's been Santos and Spillman behind the plate this summer. It's going to be a rotation of the three of them, now just down to the two of them.
Yeah, he was a heavy extra hitter role kind of early in the season.
But looks like Cesar Santos will get a single right there. We'll see Boyd round two. He'll be going to three. The throw from Henderson will not be in time. Copperheads, runners on the corners, one out here in the top of the ninth inning. They're not going down without a fight. As we see a fight for the bat between the Copperheads ball boys. Looks like the one in the gray went down like a WWE wrestler due to the push. And everybody having a great time tonight. And that's one of the great things is, you know, normally when the Cannon Rollers are playing, all these guys, you know, playing for their lives almost, you know, playing contracts and into the majors. When you have here and some summer collegiate baseball action, you know, laid back, everybody's having a fun time. And at the end of the season, wins and losses are obviously important, but it's about getting better and having that progression going back into your school campaign in the spring.
Yeah, and a lot of guys have done that great this season. It is tough when you're fighting for, you know, playing time a little bit in the summer, especially. You know, there are going to be some guys that you consider mainstays in the lineup for both teams. The guys like Luis Morales, Isaac Armstrong, Harrison Buthelette, but other guys have more troubles in getting extended playing time, so just having to make the most of it is so important, and a lot of guys have done that.
As a hard hit ball right up the middle, looks like it got Donor in the foot, but has his whereabouts enough to corral it and flip it over to first base for out number 2, so the Copperheads now 1 out away from losing this ball game.
Looked like maybe another run scored on that play too. I think it would
have been Carter Boyd scoring that run right there, and that makes it a 12-5 game.
Yeah, and got on base for the second time tonight too. Had another nice hit.
As that one will be a ground out to Luke Harris, and ladies and gentlemen, that'll be all she wrote here in K-Town from Atrium Health Ballpark. As the Queen City Corndogs come in and get a big win, a 12-5 victory over the Lake Norman Copperheads, and cap off a wonderful night here at Atrium Health Ballpark. I mean, we saw a little bit of everything today. Opposite field home runs. We saw bottles of mustard running around the bases, corn dog eating contest, everything that you would want we had.
Yeah, what a game it was, and a big performance for the Corndogs tonight too. They're going to need it as they make the playoff push, and what a performance tonight it was, especially offensively. Didn't really miss a beat and came back and really made up for that 11-1 loss to the Owls 2 days ago. And as we see on the board tomorrow, big matchup against the Spinners. I'm sure it'll be a great pitching matchup between those two clubs. Both of those teams sending quite a few guys to the NACSB prospect games earlier this season. And if I had to bet, probably a more low-scoring game potentially than this one tonight. But the Corndogs getting the two-game showcase off to a great start tonight.
As we want to say thank you for joining us here at Atrium Health Ballpark. It's been a fun game to watch, and probably more fun when you're a Corndogs fan. They come out with a 12-5 victory here in K-Town. For me, Zane Metz, and my broadcast partner, Gunnar Schroeder, I want to say thank you for joining us, and hope you come back here tomorrow night as the Queen City Corndogs will host